Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Regaton. Let's head to the Tower of Estrod and make the attack on the Defender's Heart a little easier. We'll come back for this loot. The Tower of Estrod. This fortified tower of grey stone has long served as the city's museum, archive, and research center. Its upper floors have been completely destroyed during the demonic invasion, and a squat stump surrounded by heaps of debris is all that's left of this once dignified building.
This will be quick.
Cover me, all right?
The light! Take
Don't
you!
hold back.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
This condition is irrational.
Strike. I'm gone.
Who? Me?
So there I'd swapped Woljif to the... Forget the name of the debuff. To disoriented instead of bewildered, since he was going to tank that one enemy. Canabras burns. The city that should never have fallen. Fate shows no mercy. Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide the light in someone's soul. I see this light in you. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with you against evil. I hear the echo of a familiar voice. I feel the warmth of my kindred flame. My brother, who will help you. And now we get a buff. If you take the demonic option when you confront Monago at the Wardstone for the first time, you get attacked here instead. But since we took the angelic option, we get angelic aspect for 31 minutes. A World Long Gone. A thematic collection of various artists' works on everyday life in Sarkoris before the opening of the World Wound. More details in the Museum Almanac. Seat of Grief. A view of the infamous Heaven's Edge estate. This is the place where most of Mendevian aristocratic society at once fell prey to a supernatural plague unleashed by the demons. We'll learn quite a bit more about that later. Among the cloudy colossi. In this picture, the two angels, Targona and Lario, are chasing and fighting a deadly Vralikai demon in the air, several miles above the World Wound. More details in the Museum Almanac. Here we stand and will not take a step back. The Hand of the Inheritor, Herald of Iomedae, is depicted placed in the first wardstone among the fortifications of Canabras. This is the Hand of the Inheritor right here. Well, an echo of him
We
anyway.
do it my way.
Crusader Queen. A copy of the famous embossed bas relief originally created by Master Derek Sunhammer. Young Queen Galfrey is portrayed personally leading her crusaders into battle on the 1st of Abadius 4624 during the First Crusade. Farewell to Sarkoris. Aleandra, the legendary priestess of Pelura, watches the City of Eyes crumble into the freshly opened World Wound. More details in the Museum Almanac. Yaniel by a Fountain. The picture was presumably painted from life over the summer of 4637, 1 year before Yaniel's heroic death during the battle for Dresden. More details in the museum almanac.
Follow if you dare.
I think her death was greatly exaggerated. None will escape my all-seeing eye. Inquisitor Holrun fights a shadow demon that he exorcised from his soldier's body.
I'm off.
Alright, same thing he said before. Haven't missed anything back here. Whoever you are, keep quiet. There's a horde of enemies just beyond this door. Come over here and something. I come over here and you'll see. There's a handy way up nearby.
I'll take care of it.
Be quiet and watch. This is the best part. Get it together, idiots. No more looting. You ought to sit tight here and wait for the order to attack the defender's heart. It's the last bastion of the Crusader resistance. We'll flatten them and claim our victory. To the abyss with all Crusaders and the defender's heart. Kylus, the city is ours already. Now it's time to enjoy the spoils. Split up into groups quickly. I'll tell you where to go and what to bring back. Faxon, you idiot. Go back to Baphomet. You must be missing his lapdog. Everyone here will be following my orders. I'm in charge. Won't submit to you, you dirty Descarite. Keep out of this, Kylus. I'll curse all your extremities to wither and drop off. Everyone listen to me. What we're going to do is... Looking for a fight, Faxon? Well, you've got one. Had enough, Worm? I'm in charge here. Kylus is the strongest. No looting. Only slaughter. We're gonna sit here and wait for the command to attack. The defender's heart will fall.
I'd stay away from there right now. The tower is the main stronghold of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth and their allies. Going up against that many of them would be suicide. I have a better idea.
The grim-faced dwarf with a thick head of black hair holds his fingers to his lips. Then he points at the enemies and whispers.
If the demons and their mortal agents were better organized, the Crusaders would have been crushed long before now. But they're always trying to spread in every direction. Right now, in every corner of the city, there are demons like Kylus who are trying to consolidate their forces to launch a joint attack on the Defender's heart.
Who are you?
Greybor. I'm a contract killer who's been hired to kill that demon that just walloped that other one. I've tracked him all the way here, and was planning to kill him when that crowd showed up, so I had to pull back.
What do you suggest?
Don't even think about trying to take them all on single-handed. You'll be mincemeat. Better to warn the Crusaders in the Defender's heart that the demons are planning to attack. And later, once the attackers have been taken care of, it'll be much easier to sweep through this tower and eliminate the defenders left behind.
Thanks for the advice. The dwarf bows his head politely. Who hired you?
I'm afraid that's confidential. As a professional, I'm obliged to keep my client's name a secret.
We could attack them together.
I have no desire to die today. If you choose to go in there, I'll take advantage of the opportunity, of course. I'll kill Kylus and get back here as quickly as I can. I'm not going to fight any of the others. I don't work for free.
The city is burning. People are dying. And you're thinking about how to fill your pockets?
Yes. So what? Listen here, girl. If you're so eager to save someone, go and do it. And don't waste your breath preaching at me.
The dwarf shrugs. I'm going now.
I hope you act wisely.
You're so sad. Please take care.
What are you doing here, girl? This is no place for people like you. Go. Hide somewhere safe.
The dwarf looks at Ember, and sadness gleams in his grim eyes. He answers in a surprisingly soft voice. I like Greybor and Ember's interactions. Alright. So there are a lot of enemies down there, but we can thin the numbers before we actually confront them. Mobility 11.
This war must end.
So quick save, and hopefully we make
This
it
is
across.
my kind of work.
Nice.
Are we playing hide and seek now?
So athletics.
Trust in yourself.
So you do want to stealth here, because when you activate this, it's going to roll down and hit these guys. If you're not stealth, they'll notice you and come and attack you. If you're stealth, they'll just stand there and you can circle around to the other side and knock down another column.
I'm curious. Can't hide from me.
Ah, it seems we have visitors. Crusaders, crush them. So we're still stealthed.
What's over there?
Gonna go up this way and jump back across. Hopefully we succeed.
Anything new? We'll make things right.
If we don't, we're gonna be stuck down here. We will probably have to fight them. I don't think we can stealth past them here. So, unfortunately,
I do what I must. We should move.
we did not make it, so we just have to go into the fight.
He's restless. I wonder what. Hmm? Oh, yes. What?
It's not the end of the world, though.
Are we ready to move out? No time for debates. You're irrelevant. Surrender, or else! I dedicate my body to science. Everyone!
Distract them from me. Time to share your treasures.
So that fireball was a bit of a problem.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
You won't survive me.
And Woljif may be in a lot of trouble here. I'm gonna get rid of this grease if I can. She's actually unconscious, so I can't.
You should have run!
Endure this.
Cover me, all right?
This will hurt!
Make every strike count.
Don't hold back!
Into the fray.
Alright, not the smoothest encounter, but we did manage it in the end.
You
Nenio,
require my
get rid of this,
unbiased
please.
opinion?
Now, Airbeth only wanted us to scout the tower and not to actually fight these guys. But I never leave them unfought. I got a heavy mace of fire, which is pretty good in the early game. Well, the fire damage isn't that great since most demons are immune to fire damage. Also, I never looked at this. The club with nails. This +1 club has nails that deal additional 1d3 piercing damage per hit, so that's pretty good damage at this stage of the game. Not as good as that, though. Not going to use it. And the heavy mace of fire. This +1 heavy mace deals an additional 1d3 fire damage on a hit. So very similar to this, just fire instead of piercing. Now we didn't look at the Storyteller's Ring. Now this ring grants the wearer a +1 luck bonus on all saving throws against fire-based effects. We could have had that equipped when that guy was throwing fireballs at us. And that would have been pretty good. Or at least better than what we had. Let's actually go ahead and give her these. Prestidigitator Golem, created by Shalenite Adepts. Islandi Empire, the Age of Legend.
We do it my way.
I got a buckler +1. That'd be a nice upgrade for Camellia.
You are my favorite.
I do want the experience for this, so.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Follow if you dare.
If you come over to this side, do an athletics
This
check
war
and
must
climb up
end.
here.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
And here's the other column. This will fall down and taking out 3 more enemies.
You're a good person. I like you.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
I found... something?
This is my kind of work.
I'm off.
I'm not worried about healing up here. There's no more fighting in this area. Pamphlet depicting a beautiful golem. The Prestidigitator Golem is an artifact of the Islandi culture from the Golden Age of the Islandi Empire. Made by the clerics of Shalen, this magnificent magical construct has a number of highly specialized magical abilities that allow it to cast various illusions on its surroundings. Despite the great expense that went into its creation, this golem has no practical function and was used solely to satisfy the aesthetic needs of the Islandi. In keeping with Shalenite philosophy, these golems were designed to wander through their cities to improve the appearance of anything deemed insufficiently pleasing to the eye. True to its purpose, each Prestidigitator Golem was meticulously crafted without consideration for the cost of the required materials, and as a result, modern-day cost of such a masterpiece would be truly astronomical. Sadly, most golems of this kind were destroyed in the same cataclysm that destroyed Old Aslant. This model was gifted to the Tower of Estrod Museum by the Temple of the Sunrise Chrysanthemums in Tianjia. Did I read this already? Yeah.
I do what I must.
Did I say that right? Chrysanthemum. Yeah, chrysanthemums. I think I added an extra syllable when I said it the first time. It's a word I can say when I'm not looking at the word. Also, I'm not worried about healing up here. There's no more fights in this area. I don't remember if I mentioned that. Angels. Celestials native to any of the 3 upper planes of creation. Servants of the good gods, angels have come to Crusaders' aid in their fight against the world wound more than once. It's worth noting that most of those who interfered in mortal life were driven by their own free will, not by any deity's order. However, the good gods do not forbid such impulses, allowing the Celestials to seek a reckoning with the forces of evil. Almanac of the Tower of Estrod Museum. Gallery exhibits. Alright, so this is just telling us about the paintings. We already read these descriptions, so I'm not going to read them again. There we go, but these are new. Reliquary exhibits. Wand of Zacharias. The wand of the famous mage Zacharias who made his name during the heroic and tragic siege of the Lost Chapel. As a fortress warden, he sent his apprentices to break the siege in order to save the priests who served the chapel's many gods. Zacharias himself refused to leave the fortress, however, and is believed to have perished in the final onslaught. A popular legend says that the spirit of this brave hero still haunts the ruins of the Lost Chapel, waiting for a worthy crusader to bring back his wand and plead for aid in the darkest of times. This item was donated to the museum by Zacharias' apprentice, Mage Teldon. Vessel of Rallis. This copper vessel and the oil inside it were sanctified by Rylus, priest of Iomedae and faithful crusader. A batch of lamp oil had been brought to the crusaders' camp, and Rylus, probably Raylus, took the vessel to move it to the storehouse. Raylus's faith was so deep that it made the oil shine all by itself, and the vessel became covered with engravings praising the goddess. This item was donated to the museum by Raylus's fellows in arms. A helmet of Scrocia. This helmet belonged to Bathistus Scrocia, Paralictor of the Order of the Gate, and one of the first Hell Knights to serve his duty as a crusader. During the most unstable and dangerous first weeks of the war, Scrocia saved the crusade from infighting between the worshippers of different gods. When a Hell Knight killed a paladin of Iomedae in a personal duel, Scrocia stopped the imminent bloodshed by stepping up for his soldier and taking the blame for his deed. This was far beyond his duty. Scrocia defended the honor of his order by proposing to wash out the insult with his own blood. Scrocia agreed to be beheaded in exchange for a peace treaty between the two orders. His death put an end to the rivalry in the Crusader ranks once and for all, and his sacrifice will be remembered by all Crusaders forevermore. This item was donated to the museum by Queen Galfrey, Sword of Iomedae. Rendalev's Claw. This is a claw taken from the Silver Dragon and Protector of Canabris. It was cut off by demons when Trendalev heroically saved a group of ambushed Crusaders from certain death. This item was donated to the museum by the Town Hall of Canabris. We regret to inform you that the bulk of the Third Crusade exhibits is currently not available for viewing. It has been moved to the museum storeroom for restoration and cleaning. Please accept our sincere apologies. And this guy. A pale and frightened half-elf looks at you warily. His face is twisted into a grimace like he just ate something slimy. Hey, who are you? Praise Baphomet. What are you doing here? Faxon sent you. I heard a noise outside, but I was busy making a list of the relics. Did something happen? Who are you? I am Telmer, the scribe and senior aide to Lord Xanthir, the Plagued One. And do forgive me, but Faxon's been assigned to this command, has he not? Where is he? What are you doing here? I'm compiling a list of the valuable Crusader artifacts. Lord Xanthir has ordered that everything of use should be transported from Canabris and saved from the looting and destruction. We chose the museum as the place to collect and sort through the trophies. Unfortunately, the local thieves have proven even quicker off the mark than the demons. They ransacked the museum in the first few hours of the assault. But there are some objects of interest among the exhibits they left behind. The museum custodian has been kind enough to advise me on those. But where is Faxon? I will trip sniggers. Finest thieves in Mendev. Turn your back, and everything that isn't nailed to the floor will be gone when you turn around again. The demons have no chance against him. Masters of our trade, we are. There you go bragging again, dummy. Thieving has never led to anything but harm, trust me. You fought the way you thieve. Now that might be useful. No thanks. Every person has their calling, and this is mine. But imagine if you fought as well as we thieve. Where's the museum custodian? Over in the gallery. I deceived him. I told him I was a crusader. It wasn't difficult. The old geezer's out of his mind. So tell me, where is Faxon? Clear off before I kill you. The half-elf pitches forward, then grabs his bag and leaps away from you. You're lying. You want me to turn away, so you can strike me in the back and take the papers that have been entrusted to me. The half-elf leaps back nimbly, pulling a sheaf of papers from his bag as he goes. No. I have valuable letters from Lord Xanthir here. I must destroy them. The cultist balls the pages up in his fist and shoves them into his mouth, then begins fiercely chewing like a hamster. A moment later, half-elf's eyes bulge and he opens his mouth, which is stuffed with masticated paper. He tries to cough, but nothing comes out. The failed saboteur looks at you in desperation. His eyes are streaming. His face is growing paler by the second, and he falls to his knees. A strangled wheeze emerges from behind the wad of wet paper. His expressions veer from the hilarious to the grotesque as he signals for you to help. Like to you for help. No! Want to read what it says. Spit that out. Want some salt or pepper with that? I've never tried eating paper myself. A little seasoning goes a long way, whatever the meal. Help the poor wretch. Digging your fingers deep into the hapless half-elf's throat, you retrieve the disgusting ball of soggy paper. It'd be pretty dangerous doing that. You could just push the object that's lodged in their throat even further down. Especially since I'm enlarged right now. The cultist coughs violently, and then after taking a trembling breath, leaps up and takes off running. He disappears, leaving me with the wad of correspondence that is much the worse for wear. Alright, the masticated letter. A wad of crumpled pieces of paper with visible bite marks and traces of saliva. Writing is blurred and indistinct. Most of the words are completely illegible, but some fragments are still intact. Carefully pack up all the relics and valuable magical items and hand them over to the same courier that brought you my potions. Later, I may carve out some time away from my scientific research to sift through the detritus you managed to steal from the Crusaders. I might as well not bother, since your finds will almost certainly be of no use to me, unless I find myself in dire need of a paperweight. Still, this mission keeps you occupied and gives me an invaluable opportunity to work without you sticking your nose into my experiments. I once again remind you that it is absolutely essential to store the potions in a safe place, sealed with a corresponding protective rune. Should these safety measures not be taken, the demons will drink all your stash dry in no time at all, and your master will order me to spend 3 more days at the cauldron making a new batch. Believe it or not, I have many other important matters to attend to. Should I discover that the potions have mysteriously disappeared, I will not try to look for the culprit. I will punish the person who let it happen, the person who failed to secure them properly. The punishment will be painful, brutal, and utterly inhumane. Remember this. Good luck with conquering whatever you're conquering out there. Xanther Vane. That reveals this location. Make some potions.
We do it my way.
So, roleplay wise, I probably should have killed that guy. But there is a reason why I didn't. Which we'll discover later. This copper vessel and the oil inside it were sanctified by Rayless, priest of Iomedae and faithful crusader. This item was donated to the museum by Rayless's fellows in arms. More details in the museum almanac. This is a claw taken from Terendelev, the silver dragon and protector of Canabras. I think this is the same description as in the almanac itself, so I'm not going to read these again. So these doors are locked, but we can avoid having to pick those locks if we go in here first. Already read that. It's just another almanac for the museum. In fact, we find a bunch of those in here. I remember this exhibit. It was donated to the museum 21 years ago. Alright, Teldon. The old man is looking around absent-mindedly, shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shake uncontrollably, but his hands are surprisingly deft and his shirt is a level of magic wand at you. Stay back. Which are you? Robber or demon? Hey, take it easy, Gramps. So that's the way it is, eh? You see horns and you think, thief or demon. Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? They, how should I put this? Don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's currently overrun with demons. Hey, there are horns, and then there are horns. I'm not going to hurt you. The old man goggles at you in terror, but doesn't lower his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats. The old man wheels around fearfully and peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding the wand gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there's no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about? Who are you? The old man lowers his wand in confusion. I think... His expression grows distraught and mournful, so he's on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls on a piece of cloth carefully stitched to his cloak, which reads Teldon, Tower of Estrod Museum Custodian. Aha! I'm Teldon, the custodian here. My memory isn't what it once was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time, my mind could cut like a diamond. I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. But I'm an old man now. Sometimes I set down my keys one moment, and the next, I can't remember where I've put them. Controlled amnesia. The ability of the mind to eliminate non-essential information. Nino peers at the old man with suspicion. But what we have here is a case of plain old senility. With a pleased smile, the man pulls a hefty set of keys from his pocket and proudly shows them to you. Here they are, my keys, my little lovelies. I'll never give you weight to anyone. Remembering himself, the old man hastily stows the keys back in his pocket. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. I can open every door in the Tower of Estrod with these. The museum custodian on duty must carry these keys at all times, never be parted from them, not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they would be pinched by thieves, wouldn't they? Thieves who'd strip the museum of all its treasures. What are you all looking at me for? Wojciech exclaims indignantly, even though no one is looking at him. Give me the keys. Out of the question. According to museum protocol, the custodian does not have the right to hand over the keys to another. I am personally responsible for the safety of the exhibits in the storeroom. Don't you understand? This museum holds things that could help in the fight against the demons. Biting his lip, the old man holds out the keys to you. You're right. I'm just an old duffer. Take whatever will help you, and go and defend our city. But why did the demons spare you? Museum custodian looks at you in stark surprise. Demons? There have been no demons in this museum. I heard them breaking into the tower. Then everything went quiet. The very polite young fellow came along, a half-elf. He said Canabras was under attack, but that the Crusaders had already recaptured the tower. He said he'd been sent to oversee the evacuation of the museum. He was very pleased to find me here. I proved a very useful resource. I showed him all the most valuable relics, explained what they were. He wrapped them up, labeled them, and carried them off somewhere. I've been here all this time. I locked the doors and stood guard to make sure no demon got in, but I've seen not a one of them. I haven't heard any either. I've grown hard of hearing over the years. That half-elf was a demon worshipper. The old man frowns in confusion. What do you mean, demon worshipper? That fine young lad, so well dressed, so polite. But he said the Crusaders. Oh my word. The relics. We must go after them. The old man works himself into a state, bitterly lamenting as he roots through his many pockets. But the outburst doesn't last long. The motion of his hand slows, and the awareness fades from his eyes. He stares off into the distance and then looks at you, wets his lips, and sheepishly inquires. Sorry, did you say something? What happened here? The man burst into agitated muttering, gesticulating furiously with shaking hands. First the bell started ringing, then there were noises in the street. Then the dragon, Lady Terendelev, began to roar. I went to lock the door, but they were already inside, the thieves. There were 7 of them, or perhaps 10, I don't remember. They were talking some rubbish about how they were all orphans, supposedly, and that they were dangerous. They grabbed me and wouldn't let me go. Then they looted the place. They took anything with even a lick of gold on it. Relics, too. The museum boasts a very extensive collection, you know. And worst of all, they took the wand. And when they were done, they tossed me aside like a piece of old junk. They didn't even bother to kill me. The museum custodian looks at you with affront and anguish in his eyes. What wand did the thieves steal? The wand of Zacharias, my master. He was a great man, the hero of the defense of the Lost Chapel. And those scoundrels took his wand, a relic. Ballads are sung about Zacharias, and they're just darn thieves. Master Zacharias will return, and he will assemble all of us, his students. And we'll show them. I'll show them what Battle Mage Teldon is made of. Fury sparks in the old man's eyes. His spine straightens, and in a fluid motion his hands raise his wand at the ready. But a howl of rage from outside frightens off the ghost of the past. The old man turns around and looks at you in befuddlement. You were just asking me about something. I forget what it was. Where can I find these robbers? The old man throws up his hands. I haven't the foggiest. They're thieves. They know the out-of-the-way places where they won't be found. That's where they are, if they're still alive. But they won't be in this city. I heard them talking amongst themselves about how they needed to get out of Canabras. before the demons wiped them out. Tell me about Zacharias. The old man turns misty-eyed. A great hero he was. Fearless but insightful. He never underestimated the strength of the demons. When they laid siege to the Lost Chapel, it was Zacharias who stood in the breach to rescue the clerics. He understood that we couldn't hold out, but he refused to retreat. He had vowed to defend the temple. Before the final onslaught, he gathered up his surviving apprentices, looked us over, and picked me. He said, "Teldon, today I will die and leave my comrades behind. Take my wand and bring it to Canabras. Should an hour of great need come, a worthy crusader can take the wand and bring it to me. I know that my brothers need me once more, and I will come to their aid. Not even death shall stop me." So there's a good reason why Zacharias got rid of his wand, which we'll discover later. And so I brought this wand and his final words here. Also brought something else. Here. This is why I am the way I am. The old man pokes a finger at his bald head. Fear consumed my mind. It shattered my reason. I was so desperate to forget that terrible day that my memory slowly but surely fled my wretched head. Are you alright? The poor old man smiles piteously and makes a helpless gesture. Old age, my young friend. Old age and the poison of fear seeping into my mind. Both have turned me from a crusader and a battle mage to the sorry specimen you see before you. This museum is all I have. Whenever I forget who and where I am, I just read the exhibit labels. They are of the past just like me. And now some ruffians have ransacked this place. I'm frightened, my young friend. I'm very frightened. Don't be afraid, the girl whispers. There's nothing to be afraid of. All the scary things have already happened. They're in the past. The old man nods, but continues his agitated motions. Scary. So scary. Tell me about the museum exhibits. The old man seems to come to life. It'll take a lifetime to tell you all there is to know. I'll take you on a tour of the highlights, some of my personal favorites. You should have a look yourself. You won't regret it. For instance, we have a painting here depicting angels fighting demons. And you may find it hard to believe, but in the First Crusades, many heavenly beings fought shoulder to shoulder with the Crusaders. And these two in the painting are Targona and Lario, the Silver Twins as they were called. I actually met them, you know, when I was a young man studying under Master Zacharias. They had no airs or graces about them. They walked among the mortals, they spoke to us, they healed our wounds. Lady Targona I remember especially well. It had a special, unearthly wisdom within her. The angel Lario, on the other hand, was known for his daring, and the youngest Crusaders idolized him. I wonder where they are now, the twins. We don't have celestial beings in our ranks anymore. They all left sometime during the Second Crusade. On a very important mission, they say. I do love looking at this painting, remembering those days when envoys of the heavens walked among us, and the light that seemed to shine from within them. The old man wipes his eyes. What was I saying? You must be a messenger, yes? Or are you a visitor? Why did those times end? Why do the Celestials not fight with us still? Heaven has not abandoned us, surely. Heaven is above us, far, far away. Everyone there is good, I heard, but they can't see us from all the way up there. You said that the angels Targona and Lario are twins, but how can angels have siblings? That's a good question. Of course, angels are not born like mortals, so they can't have a mother and father, or sisters and brothers as we understand them. Angels come into being from reincarnated souls, or from the pure essence of the upper planes. Sometimes angels may adopt some features of mortals. For instance, they can identify as male or female, although that is not generally their way. Some of them can also develop bonds of camaraderie or even kinship. But the case of the Silver Twins is rarer still. They are two angels who emerge from one soul. What else should they call themselves if not twins? The old man smiles, seemingly satisfied with his speech. But within moments, his vacant expression is back in place, all awareness gone from his eyes. Go to the Defender's Heart. There are good people there. They'll look after you. The old custodian gives you a toothless smile. Really, it's safe there. But how can I leave the museum? His gaze falls upon the traces of the ransacking. The old man becomes lost in thought, so trying to find an explanation for what he is seeing. You know what happened here, don't you? Thieves they were, prowling about. wanted to rob the museum, but I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came in here, and I gave them what for? A dose of battle magic. They won't be back. Don't you worry about me. I may be old, but I can still hold my own. I have to go. The old man's bewildered gaze follows you as you go. The old man squints at you, trying to place your face. I think I know you. You're one of the good ones, yes? Alright, now that we have the keys from him, we can open up these doors without having to pick the locks. So, Custodian Teldon's keys. A massive set of keys. These keys open the doors to the museum and the Tower of Estrod.
There's something here. Interesting.
This is my kind of work. Pretty good, aren't I? This is my kind of work.
I'm pretty sure every book in here is an almanac. I got Grace of Peace. The Kukri. This +1 Cold Iron Kukri deals an additional +2 damage against undead creatures. It's a little niche, but there are a lot of undead in the first 2 acts, so it's not terrible. Yanio. Paladin of Iomedae, the Lightbringer, and Knight of Citadel Dresden. Heroine of the Crusades. Yanio disobeyed her orders by leaving the garrison to venture deep into the Worldwound alone. 2 years later, to return at the head of a Crusader squad she'd saved. Died during the fall of Dresden in 4638.
Ask nicely. This is my kind of work.
And a trapping longbow. He's still using just a regular longbow. This will be an upgrade. He's supposed to be using a short bow. But the entrapping longbow, whenever this +1 composite longbow confirms a critical hit, all enemies in a 10-foot area must pass a reflex saving throw DC 13, become entangled for 1 round. Sarkorian Faith. Imperial Lord Pelura, Mistress of the Stars, and the mysterious light of the Aurora, is one of the most revered deities of Old Sarkoris. Her worship was widespread among the Kelids, who built numerous shrines in honor of their patroness. The foremost of these shrines, considered particularly cherished and sacred, was located on a lake shore surrounded by picturesque waterfalls called Pelura's Fall. Lady Kalandra's shirt. That's a mithril chain shirt, which is pretty good. It's a good item for Bulge if you multi-class him. So this is a +2 mithril chain shirt. Mithril items count as like 1 armor category less. Since it's light armor, it should just count as cloth armor. Yeah, we'll see about giving that to Woljif later. Alright, that's everything here. We're free to leave. And on our way back out, I believe Targona will talk to us. The translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. You brought us back to waking. Greetings. Who are you? Not who, what? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memory and fantasy. Things that belonged to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place to remember those heroes. And myself and the others are living memories. You woke us, so here we are. Lots of things seem silent, only until you care to listen to them. Like here, someone's memory has awoken to reveal itself to us. So your memories, of who? Of the heroes the city wished to immortalize. Go, catch a memory, see how they remembered us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. There used to be a place like this near Neathholm, land size. Quiet, calm. I used to walk among the plinths and pedestals, wondering, the people who founded the place, what was driving them? Were they thinking about future generations, how to pass down their wisdom and show the right path? Or were they thinking of themselves, trying to keep their names and deeds alive. But then the ceiling collapsed. That place didn't exist anymore. My question was moot. I wish I could say that we have not dishonored your memory. But Canabras lies in ruins, and we fearlessly battle the invaders, with no thought for yourself. You are no censor. We are proud of you. Right. In the olden days, Mordecai lost to the demons time after time after time. Now the descendants are continuing their losing streak. How could they not be proud of that? Why did you help me? A soft smile appears on the woman's face. I sensed something in you, as if you were close to me somehow, like we stood shoulder to shoulder once in the face of evil. Now we must do so again. I sense that light dwells within you. Very recently you were threatened by a powerful demon. The dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul, but you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light, and other righteous souls will aid you and follow you. Alright, farewell, Vision. Farewell. The power that gives us the semblance of life is running out, and soon we will once again be but memories, living only in words, pictures, and songs. They say the same stuff as before. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we'll head back to the market square and continue clearing the streets. And slowly but surely prepare for the attack on the defender's heart. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.